And welcome to the SmackDown review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from What Culture, joined by here to review everything that happened on this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review SmackDown, but also an hour out. The show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a very good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to review this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. You've been pretty down in the dumps about this over the last few weeks. Thoughts on this one?
We'll get to it. You know when I know that I need a haircut?
Go on.
Mainly because it looks like gas, but I
like it.
Thank you. I've started to feel more hair than I would like when I'm doing the SmackDown salute.
Right, that's the clue, is it?
That's a bit bushy. What's going on there? I'm not somebody that can rather successfully grow facial hair. It just looks like this and I'm lazy. And then it kind of, in the same vein, I don't get like sort of big, thick, The Rock style sideboards or anything. The hair just wisps its way down. I don't have good hair. I have hair, which is, I appreciate, a blessing that some do not.
Your age, yeah, absolutely.
Especially, Although, having said that, I did, those cameras that you have in the aisle at supermarkets sometimes, and you're trying to get your face on it, but it's just the back of your head instead. I looked up, instinctively, I was with one of the kids, and like, oh, there we are on the camera, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not a face, that's all the flesh on my head where there used to be hair. So if at the point at which I hit John Cena Egan and S City Jones, the whole thing's going. But I need a haircut before the next SmackDown salute. I've had to postpone haircuts on the last 2 Thursdays. My barber's a barber you have to book, which I love.
I prefer that.
And don't love so much. It's very convenient.
You have to ring up.
It's a website one, but
Thank God.
Like very convenient for just knowing when it's booked in. And you have to kind of know when you're roughly going to need one and get it in advance. I did used to like the sitting and the waiting in the era post children. Because, there's 6 people in the queue. Oh, no, headphones in.
You keep telling people to go in front of you.
Oh, no. Missed my spot. I'll have to wait another hour. Kids, I'm sorry.
They give you drinks while you're there as well?
Used to. Yeah, he's done very well for himself, my bargain. He doesn't have a beer fridge anymore. And a pool
Shout out to Mr. Tilly's. They always look after me.
That one looks after you. Kennedy's. Big fan. They.
Do you do the thing? Like, Kennedy.
Do you know, I haven't once. I thought I should walk in.
Do the start of the haircut.
Alienate the barbers and the customers.
Mr. Kennedy. And then as you leave, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm never gonna analyze my haircut whatsoever.
Kennedy. Do it as he's got the clippers on the hair, so he jumps. It buzzes me like on Jackass.
Where's your mic that comes down from there?
Like
that, I thought, by the way, when I first saw that, I thought it was unbelievable.
Everybody did. I was like, we'll put every world title on him, give him money in the bank and make him wait. Oh, God, he's been injured for 2 weeks and now we're going to have to change everything and blow up his entire career.
He's out for the rest of the year. Wait a second.
Do you mean rest of the month?
Poor bastard.
Yeah, so I was very ill the other Thursday. Was fit for nothing.
Oh, God, yeah.
I booked in another one and suddenly had to have an appointment with one of my kids' school teachers. So that one got brushed aside for more of their stuff. That's being a parent. You gotta love it. That's what they tell you.
Belated Happy Father's Day.
Have to love it. Belated Happy Father's Day to all the dads and the moms that have to be dads. You're all doing, frankly, more than you should. This is the week, this Thursday, my time to shine. I'm going to get a haircut. And I just thought about that there. Because
and it works well because you've said that SmackDown needs trimming.
Oh, do you know what? There's a lot of reasons why I buzz coming into work. One of them is talking about the business. One is hanging with my buddies. But C is just being around a broadcast professional, the likes of yourself. We have enjoyed, I would say, 30 times together. I imagine 30 more separately. That clip of that BBC Radio Derby presenter.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Has he got stomach cramps or something?
Stomach cramps. Big old F off. Right down the mic. FNL, I think he says.
Yeah.
Right down, loudly down the microphone. And like he tries to style it out and brilliantly stars it out by saying, I went on a course about what not to do on radio. And number one with a bullet was not saying F off loudly down the microphone. It was just yesterday. And I am so blessed to be in similar professional companies such as yourself, to be able to find a segue as good as that every day. What a privilege. Just, yeah. That's in a way, my Father's Day is today, because it's a day with some of my favourite fathers.
Oh, I like that. Sidgwick. That's very good.
And because I get more like gifts of things I actually want.
Was SmackDown a gift?
Yes.
I thought so.
It was a gift. I didn't get to watch it as my usual Saturday morning viewing, so I had to sit on it for a bit, and maybe that's changed my perception of it. However, stuff happened.
Oh yeah.
Stuff and things.
Big things.
And it really needed that. This was a busy show. The 3 hours for a change actually felt like they were full of content that warranted the runtime. Nice. Great. Couple of, I can't believe I'm watching this on the market leader, quite frankly. There was one promo. Oh boy. There was one match. Oh boy. That I would say veered into disaster territory. But rather a disaster with something to talk about than no disaster and no chat.
And another pointless Selena Vega versus the Secret Hervis match.
There was a match. Yeah, that was, I remember. There was a match on this show that was so disaster laden, you could make a 3-part Netflix series out of it. I was like, cringing isn't the word, but I found the experience of watching it play out to be excruciating. And I, for one, welcome that once a week on SmackDown, because it gave us that like verve and that zest back that I think has been missing. There was some good though. There was some good.
Oh, yeah.
This is not just SmackDown. I just was glad to see stuff and things.
Well, let's get into it. We got a big recap of Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, and then out comes the undisputed WWE champion, John Cena. So the usual sort of reaction. He gets Mark Nash to do that big intro. Grabs a mic and says, wrestling's Mount Rushmore. It's John Cena, John Cena, John Cena, John Cena. He did sell his soul to The Rock. Thought he might get a spot on there, but regardless.
I was thinking he might say the last one for T-Pain.
Yes, they've been great wrestlers. Yes, they've been great talkers, but no one in the past, certainly no one in the present, and no one in the future is even comparable to me. Cena says he's smarter than everyone. He's always 1,000 steps ahead of you. He got that from Dwayne.
Oh.
He announced last year he announced his retirement a year in advance so he could have 6 months to scout his biggest opponents. And then he talks about knowing that, well, if I don't win the Rumble, I can use my sort of status to get a spot in the Elimination Chamber. And then obviously from there to WrestleMania and win the title. Scouted everything and everyone he might have to deal with. He knew Cody would choke. He could get Randy off his game in his hometown. He turned R-Truth into a main event. Then everyone took the bait and focused on Truth while Cena joined with Logan Paul. And so he could focus on CM Punk. Now he's backed Punk into a corner. If Punk wants to take the title, he must admit to his own hypocrisy. And he knows Rollins, by the way, will never cash in on him because Seth knows that he's going to take this title, ruin wrestling, and leave. And if Seth wins the other title, that would leave him as the only champion in the company. That's what makes Cena the greatest. He's put the math, calc, and trig in his favor. Over 25 years, he's solved every puzzle, cracked every code. No one will realize how great he was until 3 years after he's gone. This is the greatest moments of the fans' lives. And to him, they're just part of a math equation. Then the math says no one's going to be worthy enough to hold this title again. Out comes Cody Rhodes.
Let's stop there.
Yeah.
This is a fat load of bollocks from Big Match John, wasn't it? Like, I just feel so, not furious, but there is an anger that bubbles within me about the destruction of the Fed I loved that has taken place in 2025. Death by 1,000 cuts. It cannot all be placed at John Cena's doorstep, just as it can't be placed on The Rock's, although a lot can. This is off the rails crap. I'm trying not to swear today because I appreciate that we're going to run on time for my benefit and I don't want to make you guys have to stay any later. Off the rails crap. This 6-month scouting mission that happened to include an off-the-cuff selling of the soul generational choice made in the moment, I will give him the Royal Rumble to Elimination Chamber. Well, you know what? If I don't win that, and I think I will, but if I don't, I'm just going to put myself in there. I think I've got the power to call my shot. And I will give the John Cena character headcanon that. Every other aspect requires like endless different permutations that apparently, luckily, John Cena... If John Cena did such a good job of scouting Randy Orton, how did he not even realise it was going to RKO him on the Raw after WrestleMania? Not once did it enter his head, as everybody was going, RKO.
Yeah.
Did he think... Am I inadvertently dropping the challenge to old Randy Orton here? If his master plan was so fantastic, then nobody could have seen that while I was creating a diversion with R-Truth, I was actually plotting my super team with Logan Paul, in which we lost our one match together and I bollocked him all the way through. They are making it up as they go along, and I hate to see it, right? I hate to see it, because you know what? Fucking good at the moment is AEW Dynamite, and I don't feel good about that. And one of the things that's really wound me up about Dynamite this year is how friggin' effective it's been at showing you constantly that they are no longer booking week to week. It really hit me with this John Cena promo, something that like I've been struggling to figure out about what I'm enjoying so much about bloody All Elite Wrestling, and it's that they are clearly mapping stories out to hit certain destiny, the way you should do it, the way you should always do it, the way Triple H I think would do it a bit more without certain intervention. I don't want to give him the entire benefit of the doubt, but like this week to week, what's John Cena? John Cena, the living embodiment of, is this anything? While carrying the world title and being the most focused upon wrestler on the show. It's a mess, and I hate it. I want him. I want to not see him. Like he's doing what he said he was going to do. He's ruining wrestling.
Yeah,
he's ruining my Fed, and I don't like it. And it's not heat, and he's a liar, and so is his friend Dwayne. Couple of charlatans.
You only got a month and a half left, I reckon.
Of dates.
He'll still do dates, but as him as world champion.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think he loses it at SummerSlam.
And we'll pick up the hypocrite thing later on.
Yes. Cody Rhodes comes out and he says, look, you know what, you're right. Seth and Punk, they melted down. I was distracted by the final boss. I took my eyes off the prize. Used Randy's hometown advantage against him. Here you are with this 25-year master plan.
Presented like the greater power. Like, honestly, you could poke holes in this. And Cody Rhodes is sent out there to be like, actually, you know that terrible point you just made? Great point, John.
Yeah.
Ah, God.
25-year master plan, but you didn't include the fact that this past Saturday, 5, 6, 7 days ago, you were looking up the lights and I pinned you in the center of the ring. I'm not a part of your plan. You're a part of mine. So, John Rushmore. Nice. Where does that leave you and I? Well, before John can answer, Randy Orton's music hits. He comes out. He says, look, I had you beat in St. Louis until somebody saved the day. And it made me realize I had to do whatever it takes to get to number 15. I love Cody as a brother, but if it comes down to things, I won't hesitate to put my friend down. And then he's interrupted by LA Knight, who gets a great reaction. He says all week long he's heard the world behind him. No one wants him in the ring. So let's take a walk. And he walks down to the ring saying how he's looking at the WWE establishment. He's sticking out like a sore thumb in all this. Cena might have this master plan, but he never took LA Knight into account. Now, basically, LA Knight has the opportunity to take all three men out on his way to the WWE title. If he drops a Viper or a Nightmare or a balding bitch genius, he's going to be WWE champion with everybody saying LA Knight.
Yeah.
And Cena just bails, sort of mouths off to them. He's walking back up the entrance ramp, only to be jumped by R-Truth / Ron Killings, who beats him down and has to be taken away by security.
Like this, you know, in spite of the complaints about the John Cena element, of which I think was trash, I did like this. I felt as though the reality check that SmackDown needed was, you have kind of robbed viewers of late of stars, of stakes, of things that really matter. And from the off, knowing that we already had a card with a couple of big things on, they were telling you, not tonight. Like, this honestly felt like a tone setter for this SmackDown. And it was, you know, you might not like everything we've got. Some performers are not necessarily going to deliver what we want them to deliver. However, there was the sense from this that this was going to be like action-packed. And SmackDown's needed that feeling back, and I like that.
I have put the cap on to demonstrate what we see immediately after this, which is John Cena arguing with the SmackDown GM, can't remember what his name is, about what happened with Ron Killings. But he's angry so much, he's like shouting his face, like, you bloody idiot, what are you going to do about this? And he spins the cap around, what are you going to do, huh? And I was like, are we getting Doctor Thugonomics at some point?
I mean, it de-aged him like 20 years.
Yeah.
Not that John Cena is aging poorly, I want to point out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he puts that cap on backwards. It does something.
I just want to point out as well that's basically the whole Battleground bit, right?
Yes. Very good point.
Yeah. He basically stole your whole gimmick. That was also very funny because I was too busy typing. I did not see you put the hat on, and then you had the hat on. So,
you see who else called out that fraud who's pretending to watch New Japan for the first time, by the way?
No.
The man who once about this podcast said this.
One of the only professional wrestling podcasts that's actually worth a
Great minds.
It's you and MJF versus...
Two best friends versus the world.
I support you. Both of you, actually.
And obviously, Orton came out in like his gear, as did LA Knight, because they were in a fatal four-way King of the Ring qualifier next, alongside one half of a team that's absolutely awesome. Should we do an offshoot podcast where we review that week's American Gladiators?
Ooh.
When's that start? That can't be that far away. Oh, they're shooting it, aren't they, at the moment?
Oh, so it'll be like early next year or something, probably, based on how long these... Oh, unless it's September.
Yeah.
Like new
Wardlow,
seasons.
Camille in it. Rick Boogs.
Sweeps weeks. We could at least watch the opener. Like me and Sid reviewed the first episode of LFG. So I could at least look at, like, that could be a thing we do that week. If people are interested, of course. We're not really one for veering off the course on the SmackDown coverage.
It's coming to Prime Video.
Okay.
When does it start? There's no word on a start date just yet. Thanks very much.
They'll never make it. It's going to go into development hell and we're never going to see it. And Wardlow's going to pick up a terrible injury or something.
Oh, I didn't know Wardlow's first name was Michael.
Michael Wardlow, yes. We have the same first name.
Eric Bugenhagen, I've missed seeing that name.
Do you still watch his YouTube channel? Is he still like?
He pops up. I'm still subscribed. He pops up with all like the mad thumbnails, and he's like, Horseman does whatever. I'm like, I miss you.
Tears like a baseball cap apart, like a phone book.
Find this.
What's his latest thing?
Hang on, I can actually find this quite quickly. So I just got some other videos that got pushed there. Just the thumbnail of the Dynamite review. Yeah.
That's our content.
That's good stuff.
Check out the Dynamite review myself and Sige did today. Belatedly, obviously. Sige has got some of his voice back, but all of his enthusiasm back for all elite wrestling. It's undeniably quite good.
He hasn't released something for a while now. I'm going back through.
Bugs.
Your Bugs.
Shut up, you Bugs.
His latest video. And that's someone else.
Explain the tone of an Eric Bugenhagen video for those that have never seen it on YouTube.
Just want to read the.
Oh God!
There you go. One of the thumbnails says "Science-based versus horse freak, ultimate test of strength." Check him out.
Yeah, lots of exclamation marks.
This video almost killed me, but he's done very clever there because he's not put "killed" in the title. He's put K exclamation mark LL euro sign D.
But you know what he's saying.
Have you seen this? Why does nobody do this? Oh, I have to click and find out.
Yeah. That's the internet. Should we...
I hope we see Boogs at a wrestling event next year.
I'd love him to, lift you. Just press
I'll probably lift him by then.
Oh, you're going to be jacked, aren't you?
Yeah, we got Jim in the office.
Yeah, that's promising. You can't even say the word.
Oh, a game.
Big Jim's in the office.
Anyway, Melo, Aleister Black, LA Knight, Randy Orton, King of the Ring qualifier. I like the fact that LA Knight and Randy Orton just watched initially as Malachi and Melo fought each other. Then everyone just sort of took turns beating up Carmelo
Aleister,
Hayes.
please.
Sorry.
Don't get confused.
Let's call him Malachi.
Malachi.
My mistake.
He wrestles for All Elite Wrestling. Come on.
Everyone beat up Carmelo Hayes. He got knocked out of the ring. There was a nice moonsault from Aleister Black. And then Knight, Orton, and Black tease finishers. That's a bit of a stalemate as we go to a break. When we come back, Knight's in control, but then Hayes super kicks him, hits the fadeaway. He hits a running flip dive to take out Aleister Black. But Knight sends Hayes into the announce table. Orton picks up Knight, but he backflips out of it. So Orton's just like, I'll just drop the other one. Aleister Black onto the announce table. Tries to superplex Carmelo Hayes. That doesn't work. Hayes knocks him down. Black hits Hayes with a knee. But once again, he gets the advantage. Does Melo by hitting a frog splash on LA Knight. But Aleister breaks up the pin, which takes us to another break. When we come back, Orton's on a roll. Everyone gets a power slam. And then he sets up for the draping DDT on Melo. Oh, Aleister Black's here. I'll do a two-person one. This was a great spot.
Yeah.
He's going to do the double DDT, but as he sets up for it, LA Knight sneaks up behind him and hits him with a jumping neck breaker, which obviously also DDTs his two opponents. So it's a nice four-person spot, that. Knight hits the BFT on Black. Hayes breaks up the pin. But Knight slams him down and goes to the diving elbow. But Bronson Reed runs in to cut him off. There's a huge Bron Breaker spear to take out LA Knight. Hayes goes for this frog splash on Knight, but Orton counters with the RKO to get the 1-2-3 and qualify. He's going to face Sami Zayn in the semi-finals. Semi-Zayn, as I was about to call him.
In the semi-finals?
Yes. I also did like the bit where, I can't remember which referee it was.
Sami-Zayn sounds like if John Cena worked with Trish Stratus.
When to do the whole, and your winner is Randy Orton, and Randy Orton faked that the strength that he lifted him with pulled a muscle in his shoulder. Got him.
This was, it feels cruel to call it like an over-delivery, but it was an over-delivery in my heart because all four of the wrestlers bore me, typically. And I thought this was all action, all fun. A good advert for I know you'd normally say 5, but a good advert for the theory of the WWE multi-man, I suppose. Because
I've been told they were bad on the road to WrestleMania.
I have opened the door and I should have left it shut. The all action, the way these are booked, where there's very little psychology beyond who can keep the other 3 down to hit, like who can keep the other 2 down to hit the finisher on one. There's not much beyond that. You're not seeing too much kind of elegant distraction stuff. There's no sleight of hand particularly. I'd say the LA Knight move on Randy Orton was an example of that. You kind of don't see how they're going to get to where they're going to get to at the point at which Randy's going for a singular draping DDT. Nice. That was nice building block stuff. The rest of it, just pleasing all action.
Great. Right winner.
Yeah, stakes helped. Orton winning felt the biggest. But the thing is, with the King of the Ring, Orton winning, he's Randy Orton, makes that match bigger. But because it's the King of the Ring and it's a 4-way, Aleister Black and Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight, actually, all 3 of them could be in the spot and could win it and could get the shot. And it's so the sort of, I'm just a really big fan of increasingly these triple threat and 4-way tournaments, but especially this King of the Ring format. I really, really like it. We talked about it in the Raw preview, wherever you get your podcast.
It was singles matches last year, wasn't it?
For the King of the Ring it was, yeah. And it was triple threats.
I think it was, I was looking at a
Maybe
graphic
it was singles, because wasn't it Nia and Jade?
King of the Ring, 2024, hang on.
But either way, the fact that we land at the semi-finals.
Oh, I think it was singles to lead to a triple threat in the Raw and SmackDown semis. Yeah, there's Raw and SmackDown. No, maybe not. Maybe that's just the way the graphic is. No, I think I'm lying there, because that would be the winner of that. I thought that was a 3-person one, but that's single. Yes, all singles.
All singles last year. This is just vastly superior. You've ended up with, pending whatever the Raw result is, really intriguing semi-finals, and all stars as well going through. And the 4-way, 3-way thing we talk about, somebody can get pinned without necessarily damaging the other wrestlers in it. I can't believe Aleister Black didn't get pinned. Man, just is too tough to look at the old light skis.
Can you hear that?
I don't know if the mics are picking up. It's either our water machine or it's I'm being cursed by Aleister Black before he rests. Yeah, good. Surprisingly good. Again, opening like promo train, and then the match that followed, I thought this SmackDown's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like this put me in a far better mood than other SmackDown starters have of late.
What followed that was the United States champion, Jacob Fatu. He's walking in the back and saying how he's America's most wanted, and he's going to talk about there. after the break. Yeah, I mean.
That's what he does.
Comes out and says how he's keeping it 100. Just because your family doesn't mean that you can go behind my back and try to snake me, effectively, is what he says. Tried to take credit for my success. That's why he had to remind Solo at Money in the Bank what happens when you don't get in where you fit in. I just love his catchphrases. But before he can say any more, we hear the old slow hand clap, and I've got to be honest, one of my favorite people on SmackDown right now, Solo Sikoa, appears on the screen.
With one of the members of Daft Punk.
He says, at Money in the Bank, you could have made the biggest mistake of your life, but I can forgive you for that. See, 1 year ago, I came to Sacramento to see you. You were doing nothing. You were nothing. Nobody wanted you around, so I brought you here. I brought you here, Jacob. I made you into a superstar. I put money in your pocket. Put you in a position for success. I made you a champion. It was all because of me. Next week, I'm going to be in the middle of that ring with open arms, willing to take you back. I like that as someone like who's been broken up with. Hey, I'll forgive you for breaking up with me. Just come back. But all he wants from Jacob is 4 simple words. I love you, Solo. Jacob, always remember, I brought you into this world. Now I'll take you out. You know what I mean? I'm pumped for Friday.
I know what you mean. Like, Solo's daft here because Jacob's crackers, and he's going to try and kick his ass again. But
Should we do the cracker challenge on Friday?
Yes, this week.
Can we do that, Dad?
You what, sorry?
Explain.
No, I think when do you want to do this? On SmackDown?
On Friday's
We'll do it on Friday's
preview.
preview.
Oh, I do it on SmackDown only one, yeah, of course.
Because it's the most valuable property of the podcast
That's
empire.
You said it.
Yes. For those that aren't aware, and I don't know why you would have ever missed this conversation, in Big Brother 2 in 2001, super topical.
Hi, Javon Evans. You weren't born yet when this happened.
They were invited to break records for that week's task. And since then, all 24 years of watching that play out where one of the housemates, I forget who, failed to eat 3 Jacob's cream crackers, graham crackers, crack wars, as I believe you call them in America, in the requisite time. There was another one where, I think it was Bubble was trying to eat sweet corn with a toothpick. Remember Bubble?
Yeah.
Had a hat. Him and Jake Hager basically trying to get the same thing over. And then, like Jake Hager, he fell on his ass.
34 seconds. Does that sound about right?
Oh,
wait a second. 14 seconds now.
14 seconds. Right, I'm not going to beat that, but we came up with our own stakes.
If we could say the record-breaking SmackDown preview and review.
I can't do it in 14 seconds, but I'll try and it'll be
wait a
gross.
second. Guinness World Record.
All right, I was going to say, so what we need to do then, based on all of this, is before the end of the year, we have to find a record that we can break.
The record breaking
God.
No, it doesn't have to be crackers. It can be anything.
I'll practice it once a week. I'll eat crackers every week on a Friday.
You don't have to do that. That's not. I'm not giving you an excuse to eat crackers every
But that's
week.
one I'd like to break.
I understand, yeah. We really need some cheese as well. Yeah, that's the...
According to their website, and AIs tell them, the Google says, here's the answer to this. But according to the Guinness Book of Records website, Ambrose Mendy ate 3 cream crackers in 34.78 seconds at the studios of LBC Radio in London on the 9th of May 2005. Do you know who was the adjudicator? Judging by this, I'm guessing, isn't say a full name. Katie Hopkins. So, yeah.
Well, we can fix
Fastest time to eat a raw onion. That's on here as well.
Couldn't do that.
Fastest time to peel and eat a lemon.
I'd struggle with the peeling.
Fastest time to eat a banana, brackets, no hands.
Ooh.
8.57 seconds.
No hands banana.
Has it peeled?
Can you start with it on the microphone? So you just Anyway, I think I can do the crackers one in under 34 seconds. It might not be the first attempt, but I think I can do it. I can't decide if you would want to go all 3 at once or...
While you're figuring this out, if the people at home would like to have a look at world records in the Guinness World Records book that we could potentially beat with
I could have
Exhibit A and Exhibit B over there, that would be
fastest time to eat a
delightful. Let us know.
cucumber, 27 seconds.
A whole cucumber?
Yeah.
I'll have a piss that. 27 seconds.
Look at Leah Schutzkever. That was in the Pando as well. Good way to pass the time, isn't it? She's going, oh, that's part of Leah's quest to break 20. Right, well, she's trying to do 20 world titles. They're all got to be gettable. So I'm going to look into Leah's and try and nick one from her. I'll revisit this on Friday.
She didn't count on the SmackDown preview and review podcast.
Coming for you, Leah.
Anyway, I also quite liked how they framed this, where there was an obvious gap that needs filling in Solo's, whatever he calls it, his little bloodline desk, whatever.
It's still good.
Yeah, that feels like a Hikuleu.
Hikuleu up this, if anything.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just literally looking at this
Another Dream Link.
now, and
So
Jeff Cobb looks really, really funny.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
he?
look like,
Really
like a
funny.
fly or something, doesn't
A
he?
lot of them sunglasses stores in Vegas where like you can get little animated things going across the lenses or whatever.
Looks like he's got no yes.
Yeah.
They look like they're in a sex dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah. Solo's Sex Dungeon has a place free.
Okay.
And I think Hikuleu takes it. And on Friday, I will prove that by eating 3 cream crackers. in
Aces Thunder tonight, is it?
game 5.
5-2-2. Desmond.
Oh, did you see what happened to the Oilers yesterday? Oh,
Yeah.
it's not good.
Yeah. And I saw Jackie Redmond was posting some stats up about like how they've not led for very long across the whole series.
But that doesn't matter.
Historically.
Because just got to come back in the next game and then take it to the last game.
Historically, the long leaders do well in Stanley Cup.
Yeah, well, historically, I'd heard that Newcastle hadn't won a trophy for 70 years, mate. So,
It's
and I also heard that Sunderland didn't beat Coventry.
Yeah, for
So,
history makers, you're right. This could be the year.
yeah, for coupon busters, baby.
Come on, Oilers. Come on, Oilers. Come on, Pacers. And then come on next year's Vegas. That's my list of things.
SmackDown GM's backstage with Chelsea Green, Secret Hervis. She's on her FaceTime. She doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, it couldn't be asked.
So she's just not. Oh, going to postpone the qualifier? No.
Yeah.
Alba Fyre is going to take her place later. And also, Zelina Vega walks in and wants Julia next week, or wants to face off with her, I should say.
Yeah.
Talk about that on Friday.
Delay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Match.
Hey, at least it's not another. I love all the women involved, but I am sick and tired of watching Zelina Vega fight either Chelsea Green or members of her Secret
Yeah,
Hervis.
time to move forward from that.
There was a bit of me that thought, I wonder if, was it Alba Fyre or Piper Niven who replaced her?
Alba
Piper,
Fyre.
yeah, because Piper was in the other one. I was thinking for a split second, Alba Fyre going to win this, and Chelsea Green's just going to win Queen of the Ring.
Lost the spot. Also, you know, they're doing this thing where Zelina Vega's like, she keeps wedging it in. I may be small, but my fight is bigger than yours or whatever. Did they like stand Nick Aldis on a box just to like illustrate? It was like Vince McMahon interviewing Andre the Giant, because the two of them like looked about 3 foot different here.
How tall is Nick Aldis?
She is very small.
6'4".
6'4".
Bigger than me.
And me.
And you're not going to believe this, but me as well.
Not bigger than Sidgwick. He's a shoot 6'9".
Yeah, we just put him. That chair is
Nice.
actually really far in the distance
Yeah.
when we shoot. Right.
Well, it's a Sid show. He's as big as Paul White.
Queen of the Ring qualifier now. It was Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax.
Nia Jax.
versus.
Kid listen, Nia Jax.
Do you know what's messed me up? That's Nia Jax, right?
How long have you got?
Thomas the Tank Engine
Yeah.
has a train spelt the same called Nia.
Okay.
And my brain fights me every time I go to talk about one or the other of them.
What's the Thomas theme at the moment?
It's not as good as it was.
Well, they mix it up quite a bit.
Yeah, they're 2, they're 4, they're 6, they're 8. It's still a
yeah.
banger, but they've changed it around. They've gone a bit woke for me. And
What are you doing?
I haven't got time for this. I'll talk more. Remind me on Friday. I'll talk about. I've got issues.
Thomas
right?
the Woke Engine.
Where's Henry? Is my question. What did he do? Why has he
Maybe-
been kicked out?
Maybe he went off the rails. Yeah.
I love this podcast so goddamn much.
No,
Nia Jax.
seriously, Henry's got a drinking problem.
This is Michin versus Piper Niven.
The old Louisville Glugger.
Can't call him Fat Control anymore.
No, that's probably fair.
No,
Come on. What are we doing?
We don't need to be fat shaming the man. He's just trying to do his job. Like,
Ball control.
Like I don't come to work and be like, oh, there's the fat podcaster. Like, to be
I'm
fair,
trying.
he was just doing like he was making sure that all the trains went into where they were going, and like the little gimmick in the middle of the circle once the platform go around, and then it's like, oh, hello, fat controller. All right, I'm doing my best. It's been a big Christmas. Like, it's Sir Topham Hatt.
Yeah.
The man's a sir.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a knight of the realm, and you're just turning up going, hello, fatty.
I like how you got so passionate about that you went back.
Sorry.
Don't
God,
swear.
yeah, I apologise.
Good man.
Sorry. It just, I remember that thing. We can't say that anymore. Should you have ever been allowed? You cannot be calling people like that. He's got a really important job.
Yeah.
Right? What if he's like distracted?
He's sort of like the
thinking,
Paul Heyman of Thomas the Tank Engine, isn't he?
yeah.
When you think about it.
I was thinking to myself, like,
Thomas, you will be pulling the trucks today. And that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Ladies and gentlemen,
my
name is Thomas.
You cannot trivialize that man's job. There are so
Which
many.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Topham hat. There are a lot of trains that could crash into one another because he's busy thinking about, I should have a rice cake for dinner today because the lads at work have been calling me fat again. Like,
Look about the time you met the Queen.
yeah. And he's like, oh, God. And then next thing you know, he directs Thomas clean into a brick tunnel.
No, Thomas is a knobhead.
Oh, no, Thomas
got
had that one coming, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to save this till Friday.
Okay.
World records.
Thomas the Tank
and then
Engine.
we'll squeeze in some previews, SmackDown, yeah?
Yeah. I've done if I've got
Vega and
anything.
Julie are gonna
We
fight.
might be done and it's all good woof. So we might be able to
Okay, we gotta move
that.
on.
I think we might have done that. I don't know. I haven't had any more woof correspondence. So I think I've solved all the old boy turns into a dog and back again mysteries.
Jade, Nia, Michin, Piper, Niven. Obviously, Nia and Jade Cargill just go back at it. Niven and Michin, obviously, they've got history as well. Then Cargill and Michin, I think, stand tall, so they start fighting each other. It's a nice tilt-a-whirl backbreaker from Jade Cargill, but Michin counters a suplex into a running Hurricane Rana and a drop kick. Niven pulls Michin out the ring and just chucks her right to the floor and then hits a senton on her. Jax hits Jade Cargill with a Samoan drop. And then they suddenly think, should we just beat up Jade Cargill, actually? And, yeah, Nia and Piper team up for a while, at least. Nia Jax goes for a charge. Cargill moves. Jax goes into the post. Eventually, Michin does a nice Asai moonsault onto all three of them, takes us to a break. When we come back, yeah, this is where the friendship ends because Niven tries to pin someone in front of Nia Jax. Not like Nia's like outside the ring. She just stood there. What are you doing? Michin comes in, hits Hurricane Ranas on both of them, tries for one on Cargill, but she turns that into a powerbomb for two. And then they actually, should we go back to teaming up actually to beat up Jay Cargill so we can chuck her right at Wade Barrett? Good. There was also a very funny bit on commentary where you just hear, obviously you've got, our boy Joe, wasn't it? He's doing the commentary. And he's like, "You all right, Wade?" And you just hear this. It was really funny. Sorry, Wade. But it was very funny. He recovers eventually, as does Jade. In amongst all this, Michin tries to fight the two, Big Show and Kane, basically. And she gets hit with a double choke slam. Jax turns around and headbutts Niven. Hits Michin with an Annihilator. Niven breaks up the count. Niven tackles Nia Jax. Amazing spot this. I've never seen it before. Nia Jax gets tackled through the barricade by Piper Niven.
Crazy.
Niven hits a Viper Bomb on Michin. But Cargill, awesome show strength. This comes in and hits Piper Niven with Jaded. 1, 2, 3. She will face Roxanne Perez in the semifinals of Queen of the Ring.
This was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This was so good. I loved and feel like there might be something there, and I don't know what to do about it. I loved how formidable Nia Jax and Piper Niven were.
I like that too.
That went better than I think everybody imagined when it was like first constructed in the agent into this match. And I think you could feel it in the building. And there was a real sense of, wait a second, do we need to get here somehow down the line? Not right now. I'm not saying you just explode the Secret Service, and Nia Jax is obviously, as we'll see, has got something happening elsewhere. There was a bit of electricity behind how dominant these two could be together, wasn't there?
There's a spot in my brain that goes, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Bella Twins, question mark, takes titles off Bella Twins. And I think it might have just been answered.
There was a bit of magic in the air there, and I like seeing that happen in wrestling because just nobody would have. Yeah, anticipate as almost as a gag, really, as a sort of one-note joke for this match of like, oh God, the monster figures have come together. They're going to fall apart. It's a four-way, but right now. And then the longer they're together, more people are going, oh, I like this. Well, can we have some more of it, please? And then, as you say, Jade Cargill, the illustration of her strength through being able to put one of them down and out for the night, but only because the other one was indisposed. I really enjoyed this. I like the booking of it and the action, and like fair play for them as well. having Michin as somebody there to take spots rather than take the pin.
And as Piper is someone who's come up through the underground, working on the indies, yes, correct?
Yes.
We had her in WCPW, let's not forget. Team name, Basement Jacks, thoughts?
I love it as much as I love them and love thinking about this Saturday when I'm going to see them.
So jealous.
Can't wait. I don't think there's going to be a single, I think it's hit, zero. Unlike this four-way, 0 misses in that set list because it's Basement Jacks, isn't it?
Jade Cargill, correct winner again.
Yep.
Ms. Money in the Bank, Naomi comes out next. She's incredible. She should be world champion sooner than I anticipated, I think, because
Yeah.
I just think she's like, why did I ever doubt that she was going to nail this role? Maybe because she was so nice.
Well, something happened that we talked about in the preview, I think happened here, which isn't necessarily great, but it happened. Well, sorry, I'll let you read.
She's like, you're all looking real surprised. She had a great counter to, I think they're doing the usual what bollocks again. We've said before, that should be an instant ejection from the arena if you do that. I think she's still like, you heard me, bitch, or something like that, and shut everyone up.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking real surprised, real shocked. She didn't know why. She knows what she deserves. She's got the Money in the Bank contract. Talks about the time when she was challenging Nia Jax for the title and who was there to always stop her. Tiffany Stratton with her briefcase. Now it's time for payback. It's going to feel so good when she hits Tiffy with the Money in the Bank briefcase and becomes the new WWE Women's Champion. It's Tiffy time! Out comes Tiffany Stratton. You're talking big game now, man. So why don't you just do it? Why don't you just cash in and tell my title right now? Says Tiffy. See? You say it changed. I know you're all different, but you're really just the same old Naomi. I'll talk, no action. That's why you'll never be Nia Jax, but please prove us all wrong. Naomi just fires back. Do I look stupid to you? I'm going to cash in when you least expect it. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy making your life hell. And she tells her to proceed with caution. And she leaves. Stratton turns around. Nia Jax is recovered from earlier and tries to kill her.
Nice bit, that.
Yeah. And Stratton fights back, but eventually Nia Jax drops her and hits her with an annihilator. And Naomi's like, sweet, let's go. And Nia's like, not today.
So I like the overlap of Nia Jax recovering from the barricading. Oh, she's still there.
She's in that bloody ring.
Yeah. We talked about this in the preview. My thoughts on this Naomi cash-in were you kind of keep her away from Tiffany for now. Because as much as she is throwing herself into this heel character, and she is a little bit pantomime for me this week, if I'm honest.
I like the cackle. I'm into it.
I don't, but I feel like I'll get there. But I like her, but that's the problem. That is the problem. Nobody wants to talk about it because everybody's rooting for her. But the problem is, everybody's rooting for her. There's a load of sentiment underneath Naomi having that briefcase. And she's a heel. And at the moment, those two things are colliding because Tiffany Stratton isn't the over and believable babyface when these two are out there. You could feel it. Like the sentiment of the crowd was swinging way more to the heel that called them all gross losers, who's got the Money in the Bank briefcase, versus the babyface who was willing to defend her title bravely.
We got any pasty bets / Greg's bets going on right now?
None open right now.
Because I would like to, I don't know if you're still up for it. I might even give you better odds. You know, he said, is there going to be any briefcase going into 2026? I don't think there is. I don't think Naomi's going to hold it. In fact, I don't think Naomi's going to hold it past. Well, give me a pitch. I'll probably take it. I might even say past SummerSlam. This
is where the bet dies because I'm starting to think the Seth one doesn't make it past Night of Champions, and then the Naomi one, Triple H will just get trigger happy and just.
I think Jade wins. I one or both of these things happen. Sammy wins the title at SummerSlam. Seth immediately cashes in. Jade wins the title at SummerSlam.
I don't think we got a ball game here. I'm struggling to see how they're not both done and dusted by SummerSlam. I really like the idea of something to do with Jade and Naomi and that being the ultimate revenge for the fact that Jade kicked her ass over.
Oh my God, what if they do we're saying it's either or. What if they did both? Just the same thing.
On both shows. Different brands, different needs.
Both cash in, same night, SummerSlam, or maybe different nights. Each night, both get a cash in, and they meet up the next night on Raw, and Seth's like, and then Naomi's like,
brilliant. Just a laugh off. Like that one that Seth and Bailey
the Chuckle brother and sister.
Yes, that's good. Write this down. And then, like, she wants
This title came to me. To
to
you.
you. Yeah.
Can they contact us if they want us on the writing team? Do they know where? Adam.Wilbourn@whatculture.com. Michael.Hamflett at whatculture.com.
Yeah, we're both available. And for pitches, we're both available on Cameo. You just have to order us on Cameo and ask what our
Oh,
fantasy-
sorry, slight caveat at the moment. Just need to give a massive tip. That's the current rules. They do like discounts on Cameo. New rule is huge tips.
Is that right?
Yeah, apparently.
Just the tip on Cameo.
No, they
Oh, right.
charge you for it as well.
So money and then the tip.
If
Cash. Send us cash in exchange for bollocks like this. That's what you're suggesting, right?
My birthday soon.
August.
if Naomi and Seth laughing as a segment was going to be a cereal, what cereal would it be? And are we effing? Come on, you can do this.
Naomi and Seth laughing.
Rice Krispies. Why did they stop making ricicles?
Did they stop making them?
I thought they have. I can't see them anywhere.
Oh, the little space guy, Ricky Ricicle. That's his name.
That's him.
That's his name.
And then just to save time because I know in a rush. Yes, Rice Krispies, but because you get a laugh, a cackle, and then a pop.
Oh my God.
Nice. Check. No, this is more important. Check that I haven't invented Ricky Ricicle. I'm sure that was his name, the little space guy.
Not spotted, right? Have I searched that before?
No, that's Ricky Ricicle.
Ricicle.
That was your desk earlier, wasn't it? The rice ale.
It was.
Riccatelli is a professional rugby union player.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, the famous rugby player off the box. Just type in Ricicle box. That is spaceman outfit.
Captain Rick.
Ricky Ricicle.
Just like you said.
He replaced Henry's cat. What? Why is that?
What? Henry's cat was on the Ricicle.
He replaced Tony Jr. and Noddy in the night. Noddy? Was Noddy a real Ricicles boy?
Wait a minute. Hang on. Tony Jr. So we're suggesting that Tony the Tiger had a son. Who was the mother? Because I bet the sex was great.
I'm so sorry I sent us down this path.
Who was Tony?
2017, they've discontinued Ricicles as a
had no idea.
drive to reduce sugar in children's cereals.
Fair like because it was a Rice Krispie with about a
Although in
spoonful of
Mexico, they've sold a similar cereal called Rock and Rice, and that sounds class.
Who's Tony the Tiger shagged?
Sorry?
Who was which of the cereal mascots?
We've got no more time.
Tony Jr.
Save it for Friday.
Yeah.
Right, can someone write down, because we're going to forget this afterwards.
Yes. Can Brian, for this week's SmackDown Photoshop, can you make the Cody list of things, but of all the stuff that we need to get to on the SmackDown preview?
Which is what right now?
Record-breaking cracker.
Record-breaking. Thomas the Woke Engine. You said it, not me. Already. He said it, not me. So.
I don't like that. I don't like where that's going.
And then,
who shagged Tony the Tiger? The big question.
Oh, SmackDown preview. Sorry.
SmackDown preview, if we get time. That's everything so far. Unless we've forgotten something.
SmackDown GM. Can't remember his name is.
We did before. I realise that.
He's meeting with the tag division. Bloody Wyatt 6. What are we going to do about it? Motor City Machine Guns. They're the veterans in this tag division. It's time for them to set the tone.
Yep.
So Sabin and Shelley faced Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy.
Oh boy.
Great to see our boys back in the ring.
I don't know, if this is a tone setter, you might as well just close up shop today.
Stereo crossbody presses from the MCMG onto Gacy and Lumis as we took a break. When we come back, hot tag to Sabin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Double team drop kick, drops Lumis. They look like they've got the skull and bones set up, but Lumis escaped. Gacy hit that nice springboard double clothesline. They hit a double team dropkick, do the machine guns on Lumis. They again set up for skull and bones. Gacy saves Lumis at the last second. Lumis doesn't know what he's doing at this point, but Uncle Howdy's there to provide instruction, I suppose. And he hits a top rope leg drop to get the victory for the Wyatt 6.
Dexter Lumis, bless him, had maybe the worst night I've ever seen him have. This match fell apart. For those that haven't seen it, there's already been a couple of botches where Dexter Lumis just doesn't quite look like he's in the right position. Stuff that when you're watching, you can brush aside if the match figures itself out.
Yeah.
However, it starts to go wrong, and then you kind of yearn for the days where it was only just slightly wrong, as opposed to what you're now watching. They go for like a high-low clothesline chop block thing, and both miss. So the leg has not been clipped, nor has the neck been clotheslined. But it's Sabin, I think, or Charlie. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. The gun in question it's Chris Sabin. Has to go down, selling nothing. At which point, Dexter Lumis looks upon the mess that they have made and thinks, "Oh, I might just wrap this one up," and starts to go for the cover. And it's, you know how the referees are told you got to treat this like a shoot. So the referee, she comes all the way around to look at the shoulders. I think gets about halfway through a 1 count, and then Dexter Lumis sort of just gets up, kind of stands there.
I thought it wasn't the legal man initially. There was one of them earlier, was it?
The rules have since been long about it.
Yeah, granted.
And then he sort of looks, and the match would have been over, and Joe Gacy's like, "What are you doing?" And Sabin's looking up there like, "Not yet, mate." And then, so Dexter Lumis goes over to lean over the ropes, and Uncle Howdy just goes, "Yes, yes." And apparently that is code for do a really dangerous looking move from the top rope. It's the elbow, I think it is he goes for.
Leg drop.
Leg drop, thank you. So Dexter Lumis climbs the top rope after Howdy's giving him instructions of yes. He goes up, he does a leg drop. I mean, he smashes Chris Sabin's face into a million pieces. Sabin's like, and Dexter's like, now I'll cover him. 1, 2, 3. He's got those dreads. He kind of leans over. He's going, "I'm so sorry, mate. I think I've effed up your face forever." And Sabin's like, "Fine." And then the referee's like, raise your hand. Like, Joe Gacy has to crowd around Dexter being like, "It's okay, mate. It's just a bad night." And then these are supposed to be like benevolent forces from a dark world. And it's just like, he just looks really upset that he smashed Sabin's face in. Come on, this was a nightmare.
Yeah, bad stuff. It is... Tony the Tiger's son is the Ricicles mascot.
Who's he shagged? I can't believe it was the Ricicles. Like, that doesn't seem right, does it? So you got... but then, you know what? Frosties, right, are all about cornflakes with the inbuilt sugar. Ricicles are Rice Krispies with the inbuilt sugar. So it makes more sense that it was Tony Jr. than Ricky Ricicle.
Go off topic. Still got lots to review.
Ricky Ricicles, I hope he beat Ethan Page on NXT.
Don't disrespect that show. You did enough of that last week. We're dealing with this tomorrow. Backstage, John Cena confronts Big Jim.
Funny that we haven't had the complaints. We often get when we have a bit of fun on podcasts. Depends on the initial of the show, apparently.
They're in the comments if you want to go and find them.
As Big Jim seen Ron Killings. Your mates, aren't you? Well, tell them I'm on their way to the ring. Okay.
Cena really made me laugh. Yeah. Like, "Hello, Jimothy."
Yeah.
"I know you're close." Like, right up in his face, "I know you're close." Jimmy's like, "I don't even know why I'm here, to be honest, let alone our truth." He's like, "Well, tell him I'm going to the ring." So, tell him where?
Tell him yourself. Security took him away. John Cena storms out. "Shut up! Shut your mouths!" There's a level of disrespect that I can tolerate.
For once, I agree. I don't know why he's turning into Paul Heyman. He sucks.
R-Truth, you cross some lines. For once, I agree with you. There's a time to talk and a time to fight. Let's have a bare knuckle fight right now. Instead, CM Punk comes out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just excited to see CM Punk.
Oh, yeah, me
I've got to
too.
the
Always.
promo, yeah.
Always. So the
I know what you're
fans.
saying. I'll admit that.
So the fans love CM Punk. That cannot be disputed at this point.
Punk says people are tired of being disrespected, but they are capable, both of them, of so much more disrespect. He wants to give Cena a chance. Maybe he's a bit too Obi-Wan looking for Anakin and Darth Vader, but stop what you're doing. Let the people celebrate with you on your way out. Let you celebrate your sacrifices. Give him a happy ending. Cena just says, why? Be a waste of time. People don't matter. Basketball doesn't matter.
I mean, come on, John.
Horse racing doesn't matter. Only being a champion matters. And Punk's like, right, well, just so everyone knows, I gave him an out, but he chose to do things the CM Punk way, ironically. He's going to get real. Disrespect about to begin. Sorry, was I talking there? Or who's it's my turn to talk. He lost his way a bit here, and yet still CM Punk on his worst day is better than like 90% of promos.
This is the weird, duality of Phil, because he lost his way, said as much.
He's trying to...
The pause was so pregnant it practically gave birth, and then got back on track with some lines that 90% of wrestlers on the best day couldn't hit.
Yeah.
It's such a weird experience to watch. I'll pick at that now because I think this ends well. He kind of ends with a flourish. I think I don't think it's a coincidence that of all the times that his head went, it was here. He didn't.
Doing a lot of plate spinning at the moment, isn't he?
Too much. Like, WWE have put themselves into a corner. CM Punk, destined to work one of these Saudi shows. We kind of got across this in long form on the Raw review. They want to tiptoe as close to this line about Punk being a hypocrite for working it, about a little bit of reality, but can't outright say it because then they're the baddies. You know, they're the ones that are like 8 years into this deal with Saudi Arabia. So they can't actually do the thing that John Cena is trying to say about CM Punk. Mm-hmm. So Punk can't then rebuff that because he's never been given the ammunition to dance. This is the dance. And he's never been given like the move with which to sort of, right, you've said that, so now I can say this.
Yeah.
So that's screwed up, man. And then as a result, it's clearly like something that he's trying to process and make sense of while delivering the stuff that he's had to learn or recite or think about across the course of the day, of which there was some interesting stuff they could have hit on. But at this point, that was the takeaway. The screw up, the fluffing of the lines, the forgetting the stuff, that becomes the takeaway of this one. And I cannot fathom why, yet again, when CM Punk, the guy, and he looks down the lens, is like, we're going to get real, John. And it's like, well, you're not. Because of all the foo-heads that you could have in WWE, you can't touch on the real stuff.
Yeah.
Because it pulls at too many awkward threads. And then when he does do his good delivery and he gets back on track and he's intrinsically CM Punk, you are reminded of what this could have been had it not been for all the ugly interjections of hypocrisy and Saudi Arabia and that. And it's like, why now? Why have you booked this match for this show? This is a problem of their own doing. Like a problem of their own making. I'm sure it might be in service of some booking with Seth Rollins or a pattern to get them to SummerSlam or God knows what.
I think Cody takes the title back off him at SummerSlam and you're getting Punk Cody at next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, loads of ends justifying means. There's an interaction later on that just had the goosebumps up. But like, God, what? I feel like we're entering Squander City Jones with this Punk Cena thing. I don't know.
Cena's washed. It doesn't really matter.
Maybe.
You tell a strong man a lie to offend him, you tell a weak man the truth, and that offends him. You can't beat me, John. You're weak. If you're out to ruin wrestling, I'm going to save it instead. He's got a lot he wants to get off his chest, which he eventually gets to. He's not as confident as Cena, who walked out here like a toddler who struck out a T-ball. That sounds a bit like PG Cena. But now Cena sounds like Punk. He wants to take the strap and leave. Cena's stealing Punk's best material. He's copying him, basically. He actually did it, and Cena couldn't stop him then. Night Champions isn't going to stop him either. Punk's here to make John Cena's title reign interesting, make him interesting again. He will follow Cena to Mars to beat him if necessary, or hell itself to prove he's better than Cena. I did like the line. Here's some more truths. It's not all bad, John. You are a GOAT, but so am I. I've beaten you in my hometown. I've beaten you in your hometown, and I will beat you at Night of Champions. You are the GOAT that I will spit roast and sacrifice to the gods of wrestling. Legends who actually belong on a Mount Rushmore. Guys like Terry Funk, Hardy Race, Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero. The audacity to put yourself on a Mount Rushmore, let alone 4-time. You're a joke. Here's some more truth for you, John. You can't see me, but I can see right through you, and I always have, and that's the truth. And he goes to leave, and Ron Killings attacks John Cena again, puts him in the STF, and Punk circles back to yell in the microphone, John, I'm sorry, but the truth hurts.
Like, what a great set piece that was. The repeating the Elimination Chamber with the callback and to fold into what we're going to get announced for next week's SmackDown, a big match, a big deal. What a lovely little bit of overlapping storytelling with this R-Truth thing, this unexpected gem of a Ron Killings interjection into all of this with John Cena. Really, really inspired. Love that they've thought about that to get to that point. Really liked as well, and this is what I say this almost with a bit of regret, truthfully. Like, really like this idea of CM Punk after Raw being a bit wobbly and this being wobblier still having it in him to credibly say, right, if you insist on being so disrespectful to the very idea of pro wrestling, I guess it's going to have to take me to fix that. Like, I guess this is actually a superhero cape that I can wear. I really like that. It's lost. Like, he was still talking around it. He was still like, you know what? Like, I'd follow you to Mars. I'd follow you to the mouth of hell. Implication being, I will follow you to Saudi Arabia. So I guess I will follow you to Night of Champions. It's like you've screwed it up, and there's no getting away from it. And this is the wrong destination for the match. I maintain something that we talked about on Wrestle Culture. I am increasingly thinking this has been an L that CM Punk is willing to take so that less people have this conversation around Royal Rumble season next time.
I agree.
I think that's a bit of potential chess that CM Punk and maybe WWE are attempting to play here. And so be it, because maybe we are just brain-dead, slop-consuming fools and will have forgotten about it by January. Who knows?
But Killings after this gets the match confirmed by the SmackDown GM for next week.
Yeah.
This week, I should say.
I think he might be losing that, and I think it might be Triple H being a bit like, back in your box, Ron. Like, he didn't intend for him to be part of the finish of Money in the Bank, and he wants to, Anyway, done that. I don't know where you go with Ron Killings after that, but I have my suspicions that's what that exists in service of.
Then we get another Queen of the Ring Fatal 4-Way, Alexa Bliss, Alba Fyre, Charlotte Flair, and Candice LeRae. Beforehand, Alexa Bliss is chatting with Byron at Gorilla, saying how she's going to become one step closer to Queen of the Ring, and Charlotte one's in, so there's only one queen. Makes her entrance, Bliss interrupts her halfway through, Charlotte's fizzing.
Nice.
But Flair looks good in there, fights off Fyre, throws Bliss onto LeRae, and then Fyre and LeRae team up, but Flair manages to fight them off. But Bliss comes back in with a diving crossbody on Flair. She tries for Sister Abigail, but Fyre and LeRae break that up and beat her down as we go to a break. When we come back, there's a Tower of Doom superplex that, everyone but Alexa Bliss really eats it on, but they're all down. Flair hit natural selection on Alexa Bliss, puts her in the figure eight, but LeRae brilliantly breaks it up with a springboard lion salt. Fyre hits Flair with a reverse facebuster, covers her. Bliss breaks that up in the nick of time, drops Fyre with a DDT, headed up top, twisted Bliss, 1-2, Flair stops the count just in time. Candice LeRae rolls up Flair, but Flair gets out of it, spears LeRae, spears LeRae, then puts Alba Fyre in the figure eight, but Bliss hits LeRae with the Sister Abigail, and whilst Fyre's writhing around in agony, 1, 2, 3. Bliss gets the pinfall victory just as the ref's hand hits the 3. That's when Alba Fyre taps out. Alexa Bliss steals it away from Charlotte Flair. Good book in this.
Yeah, the best bit of Charlotte Flair stuff in general in a while. The stuff with Alexa Bliss from the entrance through to the finish, and the various little points in the match at which they're kind of being presented as equals, basically. Oh, you think you're a queen, but like I've been at this just as long as you, and I think I'm still better. All action, and they might be onto something now with this Alexa Bliss Charlotte Flair.
I love it.
Oh my God.
It's the exact thing Charlotte Flair needed that is a viable and believable distraction away from a constant quest for a world title that it just descended into trolling, didn't it? Like, let's call a spade a spade. That WrestleMania build, like, people leaned in because they wanted to see a real fight, and everybody couldn't wait to hate Charlotte Flair again. And it didn't nothing particularly felt connected to anything else. It was just, are they going to just nut each other at WrestleMania? And they did. And I couldn't see where Charlotte Flair was going to sit after that. Here is where she sits.
It's a good spot.
This was all action. She didn't feel any lower down the card for having not won this match. And yeah, like, it will come back to haunt Alexa Bliss in the short term, and then you've got something with them further down the road.
Cody Rhodes runs into CM Punk in the backstage area.
Oh my God.
This was the dance.
We can't run away from each other forever. Punk wishes Cody good luck. After Night of Champions, we'll see who's chasing who.
I just got really excited about both or at least one of them being back in the title picture, definitively.
And then, main event was Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Andrade, and Shinsuke Nakamura, who immediately rolls out the ring at the start of this before Cody dives onto him. Final King of the Ring qualifying spot on this show. There's an impressive moonsault by Andrade to take out Priest, Rhodes, and Nakamura as it takes to a break. When we come back, Priest goes old school, but Rhodes cuts him off. Nakamura gets involved, puts an armbar on Andrade, I think it was. That gets broken up by Cody Rhodes, who then pulls out the Slim Jim branded table.
Don't mind him.
I don't care.
No, don't mind
Everything's branded nowadays. I know it's an ugly thing to look at, but
I kind of wish it was in the middle. And then they would go their body for
yes.
breaking the logo in half.
They need like a Slim Jim splitter like design. So it looks, and it's like you can break them in half with your friends, just like this table.
Could the legs be Slim Jims, like meat sticks?
Very good idea.
And then you can
We'll
just
pass that on.
If you want to lean it against the corner, you just eat some of the sticks from the top bit.
I think I want to be a pro wrestler.
Just to eat Slim Jim. You could just go and buy some Slim Jims.
No, not like that. They're free.
You can get table ones.
So
what's that like? Is it a cake? Is that the show?
The one where it's like they've designed something like, it's not a weighing scale, it's a cake.
Yeah. Like, is it a table? It's Slim Jims.
Buy some Slim Jims for Friday. Put that on the list.
Thank you, Brian.
Do we even sell any in this country? I have to buy them for Chris Thompson to bring them home. I've got that fat one that's probably 2 years out of date on my desk.
Ooh. Could make myself really ill for Basement Jacks.
Rhodes tries to superplex Andrade through the table, but he can't. Priest gets involved, and Nakamura ends up drop kicking Rhodes off the apron, sending him through the Slim Jim table. We go to a break, and Andrade and Nakamura fighting on the top rope. Priest gets involved too. Priest drops Nakamura with a slam. Andrade flies in with that brilliant moonsault of his, but Nakamura recovers to kick Andrade in the face. I just remembered there was a great spot in the other men's match where a Aleister Black kick was like thrown into Randy Orton. It wasn't aimed at him, but it ended up hitting him. Randy Orton sold it brilliantly. He was like, what's going on? Anyway, Cody Rhodes recovers and comes flying back in. Disaster kick to Andrade. Attempted crossroads on Nakamura, but that gets countered. Modified Kinshasa by Nakamura, but Andrade breaks up the pin. Andrade hits the Meteora on Nakamura in the corner. Tries to do the same for Priest, but gets cut off. He hits that awesome, love it every time, spinning back elbow on Priest. And the message, Nakamura breaks up that though. Nakamura and Andrade fight. Double Cody cutter. Razor's Edge reversed into a Cody cutter. Rhodes hits crossroads on Andrade. Nakamura sneaks up and tries to steal one for him, but Rhodes escapes. Crossroads on Nakamura. Surprise, surprise. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes advances to the King of the Ring semi-finals.
Really pleasing stuff. A total palate cleanser from that Money in the Bank main event where it reminded you, I think, that a bit like 2023 after WrestleMania 39, Cody, like in and amongst the roster, trying to get back above the chasing pack and establishing himself once again as the guy, even if he hasn't got the belt to prove it right now. That's his core babyface characteristic without the title over his shoulder. When he's not the champion, he should be the guy that beats everybody en route to becoming the champion once again. Just goes about his business, turns up for work, and whether it's baddies or goodies and multi-mans or whether it's like helping like his friends out like Jade so for the run-ins. I don't need the matches where it's like, I've got one on you now, John, and like this, or like the Logan Paul, it bordered on, because it's John Cena especially, it bordered on being almost like a sort of exhibition type thing. It's like, it's just, if Travis Scott would have been a better fit. Do you know what I mean? It didn't really feel like part of the ebb and flow and the rank and file of WWE. This was working man wrestling from Cody Rhodes, trying to fight his way back to the top. And he just raised the stakes of it as a result. This is I like Damian Priest a great deal, but this is a frigging main event with bloody Andrade and Shinsuke Nakamura, and it had no right to be as hot as this. And it was a measure of the fact that Cody Rhodes is still irrefutably the guy. Like, CM Punk can make a case, can make a claim, but there is no one singular, all-round, still hitting tens, still ticking all the boxes as Cody Rhodes, and it was just nice to see him back in the mix. I can't wait for the semi-final with the Cody Rhodes in. I think that's going to be hot as balls.
And if you want to know who we think is going to be facing him, check out the Raw preview right now. But let us know your thoughts on SmackDown in the comments section below, or on X at WhatCultureWWE, where you can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow our long-suffering producer, Adam Nicholas, at
It's Adam Nicholas.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE, and make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcast. The Dynamite Review is finally out now. Raw Preview is available right now. But for now, this has been the SmackDown Review, where we've talked about Cody Rhodes advancing in King of the Ring, Naomi threatening the world champion, Jade, Cargill, and Alexa Bliss in the Queen of the Ring semi-finals, the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wyatt Six, and the Truth Hurts for John Cena.
The SmackDown Review. It's got all this and somebody that's taller than 6'4".
We'll see you soon.